just me. They've been voted best of the Black Hills 5 years in a row. When the time comes to replace your roof, siding, even windows, WeatherTight is the local company you can count on. Remember, WeatherTight.com.
Sometimes it's just a whoops, sometimes it's a oh no, and sometimes it's an all-out ah! Whatever it is, J&J Truck and Auto Body can take care of it with traditional methods or paintless dent repair because they are a PPG certified and iCar Gold class shop with ASE certified technicians. Plus, they work with your insurance company, saving you time. J&J Truck and Auto Body, 1513 East Philadelphia.
J&J Truck and Auto Body, 100% guaranteed.
At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, we are committed to improving the lives of our members and bettering our communities. As your community credit union, we're here to get to know you and your unique needs. From extended service hours to the newest technology, we have you covered. Stop by any location to get started or text or call 605-718-1818. BHFCU is member-owned, not-for-profit, and federally insured by the NCUA.
This isn't just the sound of a legendary Brunswick pool table. It's the sound of families about to make memories together. And while this may sound like the hum of a spa, listen closely and you'll hear backyard fun for years to come. So while Splash City's guarantee of quality sure sounds good, we know quality time sounds even better.
Who wants another burger?
Splash City, 1024 West Omaha, across from Connects in Rapid City.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
And here's what you need to know.
Game 5 of the World Series comes up at 8:08 Eastern Time tonight on Fox with coverage beginning at 7, Dodgers and Yankees. Dodgers up 3-1 with Jack Flaherty on the mound. Garrett Cole pitches for New York. Major League Baseball banned the two fans that interfered with Dodgers right fielder Mookie Betts during last night's Game 4. They were refunded for their Game 5 tickets, but one of the suspects involved in the bit of a fracas did say that the Yankees would not allow them to use those tickets for family members either. Sportico says Major League Baseball has filed an application to trademark the call by Fox announcer Joe Davis for Freddie Freeman's Game 1 walk-off grand slam. Davis's call on Fox included the phrase, "Gibby, meet Freddie." Panthers quarterback Bryce Young to start Week 9 against the Saints. Andy Dalton with a sprained thumb will be the backup. No practice today for Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson. Lions quarterback Jared Goff sat out, as did Packers quarterback Jordan Love. I'm Dan Beyer.
It's time for South Dakota's Sports Talk Show. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, great interviews, and thought-provoking sports talk. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, welcome in on a Wednesday. South Dakota Sports Talk Show is back, and glad you're back with us. 2 hours, thought-provoking sports talk. Let's get ready to go. Hope you're having a great day. It is always a great day in South Dakota. We know that. The Nate Brown Show is back on Fox Sports Radio. Let's take a look at what we got cooking tonight. A lot to get to. We're going to bump up some things. What do we got going? Tomorrow, across South Dakota, it's high school football playoffs. So I know we got some things going there. It is Halloween as well. So we're going to decide to do happy hour tonight on the program. Happy hour is second hour of this show. Guest host Rob Kegron live in studio shooting it around. So Wednesday happy hour special edition coming up. Rob Kegron coming in second hour as our guest host on the Nate Brown Show. Until then, let's get popping. We will go with Craig Maddock tonight, SDPB Sports, longtime South Dakota broadcaster. And Craig going to talk about some big headlines across the state. We'll get into the high school football playoffs, all that stuff. Craig Maddock on from SDPB. Frank Schwab's going to join us tonight, national NFL writer for Yahoo Sports. He'll hit us as well, Week 9 in the NFL. That's coming your way. The Nate Brown Show, a lot to get to tonight, including your calls, texts. You can get in there, 605-720-1067. Welcome on, 605-720-1067. It's the Barons-Wilson text line out of the gate. The Nate Brown Show on Fox Sports Radio. Remember, you can stream us anytime on X. Right now, we're streaming live. Wow, look at the new graphics. Look at the Halloween graphics. Matt Kearney, the producer extraordinaire of the Nate Brown Show. He's got Halloween graphics already up on the stream. Find us on X at Nate Brown Show right now. Follow the show and interact with us there at Nate Brown Show. And finally on YouTube, The Nate Brown Show. We are live right now. Okay, a lot to cover. And number one, I'm going to start with this South Dakota sports story. And it's a surprising one to me, because I covered games for this team a long time ago, way back in a town called Billings, Montana. I covered a couple of these games. They were the national championship, the indoor football championship with the Sioux Falls Storm and the Billings Outlaws. And why am I talking about that scenario? Well, Sioux Falls Storm has been a respected indoor football organization for a long time. I have to go back. What year was that? 2009? Somewhere in there, covering the IFL National Championship game. I did some TV work, and it was good stuff. Sioux Falls Storm came to Billings, Montana, and played the Outlaws. And it's an interesting scenario why I mentioned that one, not only from the respect and the long-term operation that the Sioux Falls Storm have had in the indoor football ranks, but during that time in 2009, there was a tornado that tore apart the Billings Metro Park back in the day in Montana. It was crazy. Father's Day tornado tore the roof off the thing, so the Billings Outlaws had to find a new place to play. It was kind of an emergency type thing. They went to their practice facility and changed it around into somehow, some way, getting some fans in there. And then we covered the IFL Championship, Sioux Falls Storm, Billings Outlaws, in a very unique scenario. And it brings me all the way to 2024 today. And you look at what happened now with the Sioux Falls Storm. It's not a tornado. It's not anything like this, but it is not a place to play, not a facility to play in, apparently, is what we see today out of the Sioux Falls Storm. I want to start the show with this. The Denny Premier Center didn't offer a lease to the Sioux Falls Storm for this upcoming season. And so the headline out of Sioux Falls is the longtime organization, the Sioux Falls Storm, and I know under new ownership, new coaching, the whole thing, the Sioux Falls Storm is going to go dormant for a year. They're going to go dormant for a year. If you haven't seen this, just came out today, a statement from the Sioux Falls Storm. They're going to go dormant for a year with hopes of coming back in 2026. And people are going to say, what's the story here? That's my first question I had. What's the real story here? You need a facility to play in. The Denny said they had a meeting with the Sioux Falls Storm. They had a meeting with them, talked about some concerns, lack of ticket sales, fan support, that revenue side there. They had a meeting, and then since then, there was nothing. This is coming from the Premier Center management. Since that meeting, there was nothing. And now it's released today. The Sioux Falls Storm just decided to enter dormancy for 2025. And that it feels like caught some people by surprise, at least from the reporting today. So I think about this indoor football world. It's a little tumultuous. It's a little up and down. But the one thing that's been pretty consistent, it's been a long operation for the Sioux Falls Storm, really. This has been a long operation. They've had 11 indoor football championships. 11 championships. 10 between 2005 and 2016. So we're talking about not only a nice organization, long-term, solid, but dominant, winning the IFL championships year after year after year. There's been a change in coaching. Curtis Riggs was out, and new ownership took over. Todd Tryon's now the commissioner of the indoor league. And so you look at, okay, there's changes there. Has there been a lack of support from the Sioux Falls community? Because I've looked at this story across the state. Rapid City's tried the indoor football thing a lot. Rapid City's had this team, this ownership group, that ownership group, and it all went down the tubes last year in the Arena Football League, the relaunch of the Arena Football League. And the Rapid City Marshals couldn't keep up with that. The league was iffy at best, and that scenario went down last year. They ceased operations this past season. I don't think a lot of people expected the Sioux Falls Storm, with where they've been, to go to a dormant year. No football for the Sioux Falls Storm because they didn't get an agreement offered by the Denny. And I've got a sports source, okay, this is a source in that world, a sports source in that world, who has a theory here that if there's a lack of revenue there, a lack of support, a lack of fans, ticket sales, the Denny's looking at it going, hey, we got to balance this here. We got Stampede, we got big events, we got concerts potentially on Saturday nights. Are we going to miss out on bigger events? Are we going to miss bigger events than a Sioux Falls Storm game? That's the revenue side. I'm expecting the revenue side for both organizations here, the Denny and the Sioux Falls Storm. I'm going to tell you the revenue side was probably not great. Both wanted more revenue. Imagine that. We all do. But both probably said, well, we're not making a bunch of money. Well, I know, but so we need a break here, and we got to get some Saturday night stuff. Maybe that's the case. We want Saturday night games. Maybe the Denny had some conflicts as they balanced the whole schedule. Nonetheless, Sioux Falls Storm going dormant for a year, one of the all-time indoor football organizations, really. I mean, you look at that stretch over the 2000s there, that was an all-timer. I mean, you couldn't get any better than that. I asked this question, when this happens, I saw it last year with the Rapid City Marshals in the Arena Football League. They were canceling games, and I started to think, is this just going to go down the tubes? You started canceling home games. I'm thinking, this doesn't sound good. You start canceling a season, think how many people are impacted. Yes, the organization, the owners, the management, that side of it, the players. What happens now? Do you get to stay in the league? Do you get to just stay in the league and come back? Question I have is, could they go to the Sioux Falls Arena? That's a question I have. Could they go to the Sioux Falls Arena? I guess maybe people say, well, that's maybe that's not ADA compliant. It's too old, the whole thing. They do smaller events in there, from the circus to trade shows, stuff like this. Graduations, right? So could the Storm negotiate a deal? I know the arena under the same management there as the Denny and connected there, but could you negotiate? Maybe it's not as fancy as the Premier Center. I get it. Not as nice. Could you get a better lease, smaller, and fitting your situation where maybe the fan support has fallen off a little bit from the heyday of the Sioux Falls Storm? I think that's right. It's been a little stagnant. I get it. Because I think if you take a year off in Arena Football League, Indoor Football League, whatever league you want to say, if you take a year off, I get really worried that it comes back. I get really worried that it comes back. From interest, fans, the whole thing. 605-720-1067, the Nate Brown Show question of the day. I want to get to this here. If the Sioux Falls Storm are going dormant for a year, do you think they can come back? If the Sioux Falls Storm go dormant for a year, do you think they can come back? This has been a great, successful organization. And I still think these indoor football operations, these minor league sports operations, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, they don't make you a ton of money. The owners that are in there, you got to be heavily invested. You got to have some pretty big backing behind it. I mean, you just do, because this isn't like pro sports where printing out money. Man, I don't know if a lot of people understand sometimes these minor league sports situations are really, really tight. Really tight. And so if you're looking at an agreement with the Denny and it's like, yeah, we can't really get it. We got to try and make this work. It doesn't work today. Sioux Falls Storm announced they're going to go dormant for a year. Do you think they could come back? My question of the day on South Dakota Sports Talk Show. I said it last year when the Rapid City Marshals ceased operations. I know people talked about, well, maybe they could look at a different league. I said it's over. I mean, it was the Rapid City Marshals thing. It's over. And there was numerous teams over the years in the indoor football league from Rapid City, the Red Dogs, the Flying Aces, the Black Hills Machine. The list goes on. You have to have long-term investment. You got to have a facility, obviously. And the Denny Premier Center not signing up with the Sioux Falls Storm puts them into a dormant year. And my thought is it's going to be a really like swimming through oatmeal to try and get back up. That's my thought. I don't know the inner operations, don't know the budgets, don't know how solvent they are. I don't know any of that. But it's a hit. It's a big hit. What do you say? 605-720-1067. A lot of votes here on Twitter. Vote in the poll at Nate Brown Show on Twitter and on the text line, 605-720-1067, the text line for you. Can an indoor football team like the Sioux Falls Storm go dormant for a whole year and then come back? 89% of our audience says, no, it's going to be a big problem. 11% say, yes, they can make a comeback. All right, that's pretty big news. Indoor Football League, Sioux Falls Storm, I know last year not great in the win column, struggling. Been a lot of success there. A lot of success over the years with Curtis Riggs. He steps away. New ownership as well. They moved into the Premier Center, and now they don't have a place to play, and they're going to go dormant. Is that what's next for the Sioux Falls Storm? It's a big question. Coming right back on the Nate Brown Show, we'll go to Frank Schwab, get into Week 9 of the NFL, and I've got something here. This is really interesting. What's the average age of the broadcast primetime NFL games? Okay, so we're watching the Sunday night footballs, those big games. What's the average age of viewers this season? What do you think? I've got it. We'll discuss it next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
October is Renewal by Anderson's United Against Cancer campaign, and when Renewal offered to pay for employees' radon testing and mitigation, radon their home. How got Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. Radon is a killer.
People don't know about radon. They don't know what a killer it is, and they don't know how cheap it is to have it tested.
From all of us at Renewal by Anderson, please get a radon test now. It could save your life.
Whether it's a new or pre-owned Harley-Davidson or a performance upgrade, Black Hills Harley-Davidson has lots of reasons to do it now. Join us, Legend Suspension, and Drag Specialties this Saturday for our Winter Performance Launch event. We'll have a live service demo, 20% off parts and labor of select performance upgrades, the Good Stuff food truck, happy hour, and more. Check out our Facebook page for winter storage specials as well. All at Black Hills Harley-Davidson, just off I-90 at exit 55 in Rapid City.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Chance for isolated rain showers this afternoon. Otherwise, cloudy skies expected. High temperatures reach up to 42. Northerly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Cloudy skies expected. Tonight, slight chance for isolated showers. Lows dip down to about 29. Mainly sunny skies. Tomorrow, highs level off around 52. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently, it's 37 degrees.
Need tires? Denny Manhole Rapid Chevrolet will match anyone's price on tires. Plus, give you 2-year road hazard coverage at no extra charge. And for a limited time, get a $100 instant discount plus any available manufacturer's rebates on sets of 4 tires. Our experts help you get the right tires for your vehicle, and we match any price, give you 2 years of road hazard coverage, and a $100 instant discount. That's how we roll. See us at Denny Manhole Rapid Chevrolet or justhowweroll.com.
Football is on, and your place for all the action is at the BetMGM Sportsbook in Tin Lizzie Gaming Resort.
And he's got a touchdown!
Don't miss a second of your favorite matchups with wall-to-wall television arrays and personalized audio technology.
Touchdown, Denver!
Now offering live betting so you can keep your luck rolling while the game is still going. Grab a lounge chair or pull up to a table and order off a full menu of food and drinks from Patty O'Neill's. BetMGM at Tin Lizzie is the #1 sportsbook in Deadwood, where it's always game on.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk.
Welcome back in South Dakota Sports Talk Show live on Fox Sports Radio. The Nate Brown Show. Glad to have you on board. It's always a great day in South Dakota, right? You know that. Happy hour tonight. What's that mean? Wednesday happy hour with Rob Kegron live in studio, our guest host. Usually Thursday happy hour, but, you know, Halloween, we got high school football coverage. The playoffs are on, so we'll be on tomorrow. We're going to bump up a little happy hour into the Wednesday edition. Rob Kegron's coming in for second hour. Frank Schwab's in for the first hour, kicking us off. National NFL writer, Yahoo Sports. Find him on Twitter and follow him at Yahoo Schwab. Frank, good to have you. How are you?
Hey, good. How's it going?
Good, man. I appreciate you coming on. Big Week 9. I'm going to go NFC North. Lions-Packers. Do you think this is the game of the week? Do you think the Packers are a contender here?
Yes, I mean, I do think this is the game of the week because this is the Packers' chance. I mean, if you can't win this one, then it gets harder after that. This is the one in Green Bay. If you can't win this, it gets harder to go to Detroit and win. So you're looking at possibly getting swept this season, and then Detroit might run away with this division. So it almost seems like a must-win for the Packers, even this early in the season, if you want to win the division. They're still a wild card quality team for sure. Probably do that, but if you want to win the division, you better get this done, and that makes it becomes a lot harder with Jordan Love banged up. I mean, he sounds optimistic about his chances of playing Sunday. Is he going to be 100%? Does the team want to put him out there and risk further injury that sets him back a month? A lot going on there, but yeah, huge game for the Packers here, and for the Lions too. I mean, all of a sudden, if you're the Lions and you get wins at Minnesota, you get a win at Green Bay, you're feeling pretty good about your chances of winning that division and maybe going on to get that #1 seed that's so important.
Are you surprised by the line? Detroit favored by 3.5 at Lambeau.
Yeah, that is surprising. Just because to get over that field goal is giving them a lot of respect. I think a lot of that has to do with Jordan Love and the uncertainty there. It's tough to know what we're going to get out of Jordan Love. If Malik Willis plays, the Lions should win that game and win it easily. And -3.5 would feel like a gift. So we'll see. But yes, if Jordan Love plays and is anywhere near 100%, I think that line is high. I think this is going to be a good game. I think this because Green Bay's going to be at home. They're very good. I think this is going to be a very, very close game, and there's no question the Packers are capable of winning it.
Frank Schwab on tonight, YahooSports.com, national NFL writer. You say the Packers maybe get in a wild card if the Lions get control of the division. Are you still a believer in the Vikings? They've lost 2 in a row, barely to the Lions, and then the one at the Rams. Where do you see the Vikings here as they have Sunday Night Football?
Yeah, I think they're a very good team, and I still think they're a wild card team. I think that they're really, really well coached. I mean, they're going to have to avoid injuries like everybody else, and the Darisaw injury set them back. And forced them to go trade for a left tackle today. So I think yesterday actually, but it's yes, I still think they're a wild card quality team, but they're just not as good as the Lions. And that's all about we've learned in the past couple weeks with them is not as good as the Lions. Look, they lost to the Rams. That's fine. The Rams are really energized by getting their receivers back in the lineup. It's a very good team. Now, look. Once you get in the wild card mix in either conference, it's tough. There's only 3 of those spots. Ton of teams coming for you. Some of you late in the season, the Rams or the Cardinals or the Cowboys or whoever it's going to be. There's 2 good teams out in the East too. So you never know. You could win 10 games and still not make a wild card. So who knows if they're actually going to get it? But I do think they're that quality of a team. I really haven't backed off on thinking they're a very good football team.
Okay, so you would maybe try and pick some people up at the trade deadline next week if you're the Vikings still?
Yeah, I think so. Look, it's always about the price, right? Like, what are you paying? Are you giving up second-round pick for a veteran who's going to help you for a couple months? Well, that's not really what I'd want to do. But I think with so many sellers out there, because 10 teams right now have 2 wins or less, so there's a lot of teams selling right now. I think that you're going to be able to get decent value on what you want. Get a guy or 2 can help you at certain spots, but honestly, it's a pretty sound roster already. I don't look at that team and think there's a ton of work that needs to be done or a major problem, a major hole in their lineup, especially like Hawkinson coming back and some of the depth they have elsewhere and having trade for Cam Robinson. So I don't think that they need to make a major move. Maybe a couple low price, low cost moves here and there to shore up depth, but it's a pretty good team all around, and I don't think they need to make some major splash.
NFL Week 9 with Frank Schwab on the Nate Brown Show. Find him at Yahoo Schwab on Twitter and his work at yahoosports.com. So Thursday Night Football, it's Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. They're favored by 2 against Houston. Is the public still saying, well, the Jets are going to win sometime, I guess? I mean, they could be 2-7 tomorrow.
I don't get why the Jets. I just don't get why the Jets are favored. I don't. And not to say they can't win. Look, it's NFL football. Anybody can beat anybody. We know that. But who are the Jets to be favored over any good team right now? I get the Texans are banged up. Stephon Diggs, ACL, done for the year. Nico Collins still on IR. They're really short at receiver right now. But they're still much better than the Jets. The Jets aren't good. They're just not a good football team. Sorry. Yes, they've lost some close games. They've caught some bad luck. I get that. Okay, fine, great. But I don't buy the whole it's just bad luck in close games excuse when you're losing to Jacoby Brissett and the Patriots. That's just bad. That's just bad football. We haven't seen them play well all year. I mean, they've had their only decent performance all year really was against the Patriots at home many, it seems like years ago. And they beat the Titans. What does that mean? They have not shown to be capable of beating a good team. They've shown to lose the bad teams. There's not good vibes around them. At 2-6, they know they're done. They know they're not winning 8 of their last 9 to make the playoffs. I just don't understand why the Jets are favored. I just can't figure it out. I can't reasonably make an argument why that makes any sense to me.
I'm with you on that. I don't get it, but what about Aaron Rodgers? Where are we watching? What are we watching with his career this year and next year? Where's Aaron Rodgers going to be?
That's a really interesting question. The rest of this year is weird because they're done. Again, if you win 8 or 9, hats off. You might make the play. You might not. The New York Jets could win 8 of their next 9 games and not make the playoffs. I mean, it's 10-7. That's not guaranteed a wild card spot in either conference. So that's the hole they've dug for themselves. Where the only way they could really assure themselves of playing their way into the playoffs is by going 9-0 down the stretch, and that don't look like a team that can go anywhere near 9-0. So they're just going to be Rodgers is just going to be stuck playing in a weird uniform with a really bad football team that's out of playoff contention the rest of the year. It doesn't have its head coach anymore. It's got an interim that knows it's going to blow everything up after the season. That should include Rodgers probably. So I don't know. It's going to be a really weird rest of the season, and then. Does Rodgers want to keep playing? I don't know. Nobody. Aaron Rodgers is a different dude, right? So it's hard to really understand what his motivations are going to be after this year, what he wants to do. We don't know if he wants to play anymore. Would some team take him? Probably. I don't think he's been terrible this year or anything, but he's also, going to be at that age where you're just going to hit the cliff very, very soon. And I don't know that he's going to necessarily go to a place where you're allowed to bring in all your buddies like Nathaniel Hackett. I don't know. It would not surprise me at all if Aaron Rodgers just plays out the string and retires, which would be a weird and kind of sad ending to an all-time great career.
So Joe Flacco's still playing, so I guess there's always hope. Joe Flacco's going to start. Are the Colts giving up on Anthony Richardson? And it's like, do teams give up too quickly on a Bryce Young and Anthony Richardson?
They can at times, and maybe that's the case. But to me, I think that it got so bad for Anthony Richardson that continuing to play him wasn't going to help him. I don't think you could reasonably state that letting him go out there and complete 44% of his passes was doing anybody any good, including Anthony Richardson in his development. I get it. He needs experience somehow. It's tough. It's a really, really tough situation for the Colts to be in. But I think they just said, we need to admit a mistake by playing him too early. We need to sit him down. I think they got to restart with him and just, here's the fundamental, here's your day one footwork. They just have to work with him from the ground up at this point and kind of build him back up to be an NFL quarterback, because 44% completion percentage is not NFL football. It's just not. That not in any era. Not in Red Grange's 1920s was that an acceptable stat. So it got to the point with Anthony Richardson where he had to improve 15% on his completion percentage to be the worst quarterback in the league. It was horrible. And so, do I think they've given up on him? No. Do they give up on the path of he's going to play and learn how to become an NFL quarterback, and that's how we're going to be good? Yeah, they absolutely it did and had to. They had to know that there was nothing good coming out of what we were seeing on the field. So I think this is just a step back for the Colts and reassessing how they develop Anthony Richardson while saying, hey, we're 4-4. We owe it to the players in that locker room and our fans and everybody else to put our best team on the field. And right now, that best team did not include Anthony Richardson playing quarterback. So I just think this had to happen. And I don't think necessarily it means Anthony Richardson is done. I don't think the Colts have given up on him. But it does mean that he just wasn't, the path they were on was not working for anybody.
Last one, Frank Schwab out the door, YahooSports.com, national NFL writer. Broncos at the Ravens. Can Bo Nix and the Broncos make that interesting? Give me your read on it.
I don't think so. I mean, look, who knows? The Raiders won at Baltimore, so why can't the Broncos, right? If the Raiders win there, anybody can win there. But I just don't see it, especially a Ravens team that's going to be angry coming off the Browns loss. Bo Nix has played very well lately, but, last game was against the Panthers. What does that even mean anymore? You should get half credit for your stats against the Panthers this year. If you throw for 300 yards against the Panthers, it should just go as 150 in the books, because they're horrible there. You talk about it, not an NFL product. That is the 2024 Carolina Panthers. I don't think the Broncos can go and make that game competitive, but whatever. They got a good defense. They got a good coach. They got a quarterback who's playing better. Maybe they can. I don't see it, but it's the NFL, and for 31 teams not named the Panthers, you can compete just about every week in the NFL and make things interesting. And the Broncos certainly can do that. They're far beyond the dregs of the NFL at this point. They're a pretty competitive football team.
Ravens favored by 9.5 against the Broncos. Frank Schwab covering the NFL, YahooSports.com, national writer on tonight. Frank, good to have you as always. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely, I appreciate it.
Appreciate your time. Frank Schwab in tonight on South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Find him at Yahoo Schwab on Twitter. Follow him and read his work, YahooSports.com. Does a podcast, good stuff. Frank Schwab tonight, national NFL writer. Look out for the Broncos defense. Everybody, you ready? Look out for the Broncos defense against the Ravens. Broncos defense will show up. We know that. We know that. The D-line is lights out. Zach Allen and the guys, lights out. So I think that one will be a little tighter than the 9.5 line. We'll see. I'm a little bullish on my Broncos. That's always a scary thing. Whenever I start getting bullish on the Broncos and start talking a little smack, then I just get smacked right between the running lights. I get my lung knocked loose. Just boom, they just take me down as they have the last 8 years. I think the Broncos defense keeps it tight Sunday I don't know about the offense. That is here, nor there, nor anywhere. I mean, that offense I have no clue. Hey, it's a good play. And then all of a sudden, it's, what are we doing? We got 27 yards passing through 3 quarters. What's going on? So who shows up Sunday? All right, game of the week, Frank Schwab says Lions-Packers. Lions-Packers, huge NFC North matchup. And, of course, the Vikes, Sunday Night Football, should get back on track in Minneapolis against the Colts. And your favorite hat rack, Joe Flacco. I mean, can the Vikings take the Colts down, please, Sunday night? And then the Vikes are back to 6-2, and then everybody can calm down a little bit. Everybody's starting to bail on the Vikes. Not our next guest, season ticket holder for the Minnesota Vikings, yours truly, Craig Maddox, South Dakota Public Broadcasting, longtime Sioux Falls broadcaster. Craig Maddox in his reaction on the Sioux Falls Storm closing down for a year, going dormant for a year. Craig Maddox next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
How do you make everyone's favorite buffet even better? How do you make the country's best chicken even more exciting? How do you make Thursday the best night ever? Wing night at Pizza Ranch. Boneless and traditional. A variety of sauces. All the wings you want, plus all your other buffet favorites. The country's best wing night is here, taking flight Thursday nights on the buffet. Only at Pizza Ranch. Pizza Ranch, everyone's favorite buffet.
The bakers of Country Hearth and Village Hearth Breads are proud to support local education with Loaves for Learning, the program that makes it easy to earn money for your school. Enjoy Country Hearth and Village Hearth all-natural breads, buns, bagels, and more, then save the UPC from the package for your school to collect and redeem. Each is worth 5 cents and can be used for books, computers, sports, music, whatever your school needs, up to $10,000 a year. Learn more at loavesforlearning.com. Country Hearth and Village Hearth Breads, baking our best for you.
Your home for the South Dakota High School football playoffs is here on Fox Sports Rapid City. Thursday night, starting at 5:45. The first round of the Class 11A football playoffs as Rapid City Christian takes on Sioux Falls Christian. Presented by Black Hills Culligan. Join our broadcast team, Jerome Wickersham, Dean Gurr, and Matt Kearney, as Rapid City Christian takes on Sioux Falls Christian. Thursday night at 5:45. Playoff football presented by Black Hills Culligan. Right here on Fox Sports Rapid City.
Hi, this is David Brenneman with Coldwell Banker Black Hills Legacy in Rapid City. Have you thought about buying a home or real estate in the Black Hills? Maybe you want to upgrade to your forever home? I have been helping people in the Black Hills find the right home for nearly 20 years. When it comes to buying or selling, experience matters. Let me do the work and you can open the door to your new home. Say hello to a good buy with me, David Brenneman. To get started, just Google David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker.
Fall savings are reaching their peak at Spearfish GMC. Discounts up to $84.50 on remaining 2024 Sierra 1500 models. And well-qualified buyers get 3.9% APR for 48 months on HD Sierras, plus $1,000 cash back on select models. Check out exceptional lease offers on the all-new Hummer EV2X. See Spearfish GMC online at spearfishmotors.com.
Building projects can be complex. The risks are great and time is money. Consolidated Construction of Rapid City simplifies the process by being your advocate, guiding you through funding, design, and construction. They manage the players and the schedule and marry the design to your budget so you get the most for your investment. They promise an energizing experience before, during, and after construction. It's not enough that you get a quality building. They pledge you'll experience quality every step of the way. Consolidated Construction. One call to build.com.
Do you have a financial game plan for your life? Hi, this is Lee Cruz, your local trusted New York Life agent here in Rapid City. My passion is helping you put the pieces in place for your family to make sure your game plan is a success. For over 175 years, New York Life has been helping people like yourself take action in securing their future. Don't wait, take action and Google Lee Cruz New York Life or call 605-360-8804. We will work together on putting your family first.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show, also streaming right now on X. Follow us and watch the show live at Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in the Nate Brown Show on Fox Sports Radio. Glad you're here. South Dakota Sports Talk Show, special edition of Wednesday Happy Hour. What is it? You've listened to the show the last few weeks, right? Well, some of you a lot longer, right? But we're across the state now. Happy Hour is with Rob Kegron, our guest host, one of the all-time great radio hosts. He's had a national show years back. He's right here on South Dakota Sports Talk Show every week, a full hour with Rob Kegron coming in. The second hour is our guest host on the Nate Brown Show straight ahead. Lot to discuss tonight. Craig Maddox on from SDPB, his podcast, a new one out. We're going to get to that. It's called In Play, and one of the all-time great high school football coaches in South Dakota. We'll get to that. Craig Maddox from SDPB Sports. Craig, how are you tonight?
Hey, I'm doing great. I'm just a little disappointed. I was involved with the Rapid City nightlife last week when I was in Rapid for the state cheer and dance, and I was not able to run into you. So, I mean, I was all over the place.
That's amazing. That's amazing. You were in the nightlife. So, what do you mean? You went to dinner and were back by 8?
8:30. Yeah.
Okay,
but,
all right.
Rapid is just a great place to come and visit, and Rapid City does a great job hosting state tournaments. They're very gracious. It was a fun time.
Okay, good to know that. Let's get into the big headline out of this. Long-time organization. They've won a ton of indoor football championships. There was a change in ownership, change in coaching. Season last year didn't go great. I was told by a sports source in this world out in Sioux Falls, they were close to the Sioux Falls Storm. They said it's been stagnant now for a few years, and now the headline is the Sioux Falls Storm going to go dormant for a year because they couldn't get an agreement with the Denny Premier Center. What was your reaction seeing this?
Shocked. I was shocked. But yet, now that I think about it, you go back to 2020, again, a team that was very successful. They could get any players they wanted to come play in Sioux Falls. But then the ownership change occurred. And, of course, the current owner is now is Todd Tryon, the commissioner of the league. Ever since the new owners came in, in 2020, they were below 500. 21, they were below 500. 22, they were just over 500. 2 years ago, they were in the semifinals with a chance to win it and go to the finals.
Yeah.
But then this year, only 3 wins. And attendance has been abysmal compared to where they've been in the past. And, I think there is some tension right now between the Sioux Falls Storm owners and those that run the Denny Sanford Premier Center, because the Premier Center folks were a little surprised today when they saw that the Storm is going to go dormant for a year. Now, I know that the Storm was hoping to get into Augustana's new ice arena. They tried to get something done where they would go over to the brand new ice arena on the campus of Augustana College, but they couldn't get that finalized. Don't know all the details why they didn't. Could have been scheduling, big time on scheduling, since they're hosting Division I hockey. But the main reason, according to the Storm, is that or the Denny Sanford Premier Center is because they're not making any money. They're losing money when the Storm is having games, is because they're not getting attendance like they used to. The event center folks have said they're still willing to talk about it, but as of right now, and typically when you go dormant, there's a lot of times you just don't come back. That is what is so concerning. It's not that easy just to take a year off, because you got your coaches you got to worry about. You got players. Players are wondering what's going on. They want a little security, a bit, but going dormant for a year, I mean, that doesn't look good for the Sioux Falls Storm.
89% of my audience, I asked the question tonight, Craig, I said, can an indoor football team like the Sioux Falls Storm, very successful, long-term, they've had a great brand, can they go dormant for a year and come back? 89% of the audience said, no, it's going to be over. It's going to be a big problem. And I've seen
Rapid City folks know, because you guys have had the Red Dogs and everything out there a couple of times, and that was tough. and that went under for various reasons. But you look at other teams, whether it's the Indoor Football League or any other indoor football league, arena league, whatever, by going dormant for a year, yeah, the odds are that you're not going to come back unless you absolutely change things up, like changing ownership.
Okay, so here's what am I missing? Why doesn't the Sioux Falls Storm just try to go back to the arena? Why don't they go back to the arena? Maybe it's not going to be as big a crowds, but maybe the agreement's a little more team-friendly. Maybe the Premier Center's not as worried about making as much there. Why can't you go back to the arena?
I went to a bunch of games at the arena, and they were electric. They were fun. You had some sight lines that were not very good, but I'm also told that even if the Storm moved into the arena, that they wouldn't make money there either because of attendance. And people aren't going to go to Storm games just because, now they're at the Sioux Falls Arena. Now I'm going to go to those games. You go there and based on what your team and your promotions are like. And they have had a hard time doing this over the last couple of years. So we'll see what happens. You would think this late in the game. I mean, come on. I mean, the season is just about ready to start. And I know the arena folks, the folks from the Denny Sanford Premier Center, they said that they had talked with the Storm owners several months ago about this, but apparently the two have not talked in a while.
Yeah, it's a surprising one. Sioux Falls Storm, successful indoor football team going dormant for a year, couldn't get a deal done to play at the Denny Premier Center. Craig Maddox on tonight, SDPB Sports Live from Sioux Falls. So I want to jump to this where it's like, well, people aren't going to watch them as much. This is an interesting deal out today. The average age for primetime NFL viewers this year, for the primetime games, Sunday Night Football, that type of thing, 62 and a half years old. 62 and a half.
Now those young cats are watching the games.
Okay, so are younger people watching games? I mean, I don't know if this ties into the Sioux Falls Storm and not getting fans. There's probably various reasons. Are younger people not watching games?
That's a great point. I would consider we're still seeing, I'm calling them the youngins, those in their 20s and 30s. A lot of them are playing fantasy football. They're involved with that. They're probably involved with betting as well. And it could be the matchups this year. I mean, you look at some of the matchups; they haven't been that good. And the other one is on Thursday night. I mean, let's face it; they're on Prime. I mean, that's a huge part of the population. They don't have Prime. They don't. They're watching these games on ABC and ESPN. They're not necessarily watching it on the stream level.
62 and a half years old, average age. I'm thinking, boy, oh boy.
What's wrong with that?
I can't believe it. I didn't think I was getting that old, but boy, I'm getting old. I can tell you. So it's interesting. Let me go to the high school football ranks. Playoffs are in full swing tomorrow. Halloween and the playoffs start. I'm looking at 11 AA. Did you think we'd ever have an 11 AA class where Pierce won 7 in a row? This much parity. We finally have 11 AA, and I don't know who's going to win.
Well, eventually the parity comes together. There was going to be a time where Pierre was not going to continue that streak, and unless they get hot. You know what? It's going to be tougher for them to win their 7th in a row. I'm not surprised by it. In fact, I'm one of those that thinks that we should get rid of the first round games in football because they're not even close. They're you make the playoffs as a seed, whatever, and you're getting shut out and blown out. Virtually every game is the first round blowouts, and I just keep wondering why we play those. This week will be closer. Double A, you know what? Is Spearfish going to make that run to the semifinals? Got to wait and see. But Pierre, I think they're the 4 seed. It might be a little tougher for them to get to the Dome this year.
I want to ask you, speaking of non-parity, AAA is really top-heavy, and that's where you're saying, like, hey, we're going to see some blowouts tomorrow in the first round. So when you look at AAA and you think about this is part of your In-Play podcast, you interview Mick Weissep, longtime Rapid City Stevens coach. He was at Todd County. He was at Sturgis. So great discussion. Download Craig's podcast, In Play, SDPB Sports. Mick Weissub, you talked to him about, hey, what's going on with Central and Stevens? Can they get in the mix in AAA? There's just such a huge gap right now in AAA.
He was very happy to see Washington break that 29-game losing streak as they beat Sioux Falls, Washington. He says Stevens is a different matter. He was kind of disappointed a little bit in the hiring and what happened to Stevens. In fact, he was approached by someone whether he wanted to come back to Stevens. Don't know if maybe they were joking or they were serious about it. But as you'll hear in the podcast with Mick, and he's a great guy, it's going to take someone who's got a lot of energy that can turn that Stevens program around and to keep the Central program rolling as Central in the playoffs here coming up tomorrow night.
Okay, does Rapid City Christian have a chance at Sioux Falls Christian tomorrow? It's our game of the week. Do they have a chance? Sioux Falls Christian unbeaten.
A chance to get to Sioux Falls Christian and get over to their football. I'm sorry. I like the coaches at Christian, but the Sioux Falls Christian by far is heads and shoulders. They would probably, they could maybe win the division above them. They're that good.
Oh, 11A game of the week for us. Rapid City Christian, Sioux Falls Christian tomorrow. Craig Maddock tonight, SDPB Sports. Download the new podcast, In Play, featuring Mick Weissub. Craig, always great. Thanks a lot.
Right. Mick still thinks the field goal was good for Stevens to beat Washington, even though most others said it wasn't. So you got to listen to the podcast on that one.
All right. We go all the way back for that Stevens championship. Craig Maddock on tonight, SDPB Sports from Sioux Falls. His podcast is called In Play. Good stuff featuring Mick Weissub, longtime head coach, Rapid City Stevens. All right, speaking of that, what do you think about the average age of primetime NFL viewers? That came out from Front Office Sports today. This season, it's 62 and a half years old. What does that tell us? We'll discuss next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
October is Renewal by Anderson's United Against Cancer campaign, and when Renewal offered to pay for employees' radon testing and mitigation, several Renewal team members found radon in their homes. Deb was one of them, and she always wondered how she got breast cancer. Radon causes cancer. It's linked to Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. Radon is a killer.
People don't know about radon. They don't know what a killer it is, and they don't know how cheap it is to have it tested.
From all of us at Renewal by Anderson, please get a radon test now. It could save your life.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
Sports fans, it's Rob from the Firehouse Skybox, inviting you to make us your home for the NFL this season. We really wanted Rapid City to have a premier sports bar with great service and great food, and that's why we started the Skybox. We have 35 big screens. We'll show every NFL game all season long. Plus, we'll have great specials for you to join us on Monday nights, Thursday nights, and all day, of course, on Sunday. The Skybox has the best food and the best experience for NFL football. Check us out on game days, and we look forward to serving you at the Skybox above the Firehouse in downtown Rapid City.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Slight chance for isolated rain showers tonight, otherwise cloudy skies expected. Lows dip down to about 29, southerly winds around 5 miles per hour. 52 tomorrow. Partly cloudy tomorrow night, lows dip down to about 32. Mainly clear Friday with a high of 56. 59 Saturday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently 37.
Imagine this. A bank that is committed to you, that understands your needs, your values, and your growth. No more settling for the status quo. Pioneer Bank and Trust offers tailored solutions, innovative services, and a team of experts dedicated to your success. You deserve more attention and more support from your bank. Don't settle. Pioneer. Pioneer Bank and Trust. Local.
Pioneer Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Attention football fans. The BetMGM Sportsbook at Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort has it all. Watch your team on massive high-definition screens while enjoying live betting. Keep some skin in the game even when the odds don't go your way. Enter Jack's second chance mulligan drawing by dropping your losing ticket for a shot at up to $200 in Cadillac cash every week. Satisfy your craving with mouth-watering Mexican cuisine from Guadalajara's or choose from 4 other food vendors, all while sipping on your favorite drinks. The BetMGM Sportsbook at Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort. How will your game play out?
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown.
Welcome back. Your sports, your show, South Dakota Sports Talk Show, The Nate Brown Show, driven by Spearfish Motors. Your home for GMCs and Cadillacs. Brand new line 2024's still there. Take a look. SpearfishMotors.com. Locally owned. Not too many of those left in the region. Those new car and truck dealerships locally owned. Start at SpearfishMotors.com. South Dakota Sports Talk Show featuring Rob Kegron, our guest host into the second hour tonight. Hang on. Special Wednesday happy hour. We bumped it up. I think Rob's going trick-or-treating tomorrow or something. Wednesday happy hour coming up. Rob Kegron on the way. We'll shoot it around. Going to discuss the Yankees-Dodgers Game 5 coming up. I want to go to this. So there's some TV executives that got together this week looking at NFL ratings, sports in general, and looking at where we're at now and where we're going as far as who is watching the NFL, who's watching sports, how are they doing it. Our world's changing all the time. Here's something that jumps out, if you haven't heard this. This season, the average age for broadcast primetime NFL games is 62 and a half years old. It's the average age of the viewers for the primetime games. Like Sunday Night Football. Sunday Night Football, 62 and a half. That's what we're talking. How about Thursday night, the Amazon game tomorrow? It's 47 and a half. 47 and a half. So I know that's streaming, so that drops the age by 15 years. Okay. My question is, are younger people not passionate sports fans? That's my question tonight. I have my opinion on this. Let's go to the phones. Thanks for calling. You're live and you go ahead.
Hey, Nate. How's it going? Thanks for having me on.
What do you say?
I just think I think sports take too long for like younger people nowadays. I mean, I remember watching baseball playoffs and stuff when I was the same age as my kids and stuff. Like, it was we always had sports on. Like, it was just, but there was nothing else. Like, I think,
but how about
the youth of? Yeah, go ahead.
How about like 32-year-olds? Like that's not like a young kid. How about can a 32-year-old watch an NFL game tomorrow night?
I don't. I mean, with phones and with all of that stuff now, I don't think so. Like, I mean, it's just totally my opinion, but I think everything is like they might watch bits and pieces. It might be on like highlights. There's so many ways to watch sports now. Like you can watch when I coach like my kids' sports and stuff, like I'm looking at scores sometimes and piecing it together. Like, yeah. I'm way older than 32, but it's just I just don't think. I don't know. Like watching a whole game, I don't think is a possibility anymore.
Are they still passionate? So they're checking it out on their phone. Are they still passionate sports fans?
I think it's more about players anymore than it is teams. Like to be honest, like,
that's a good point.
When I talk to my son, like it's like who's whether it's NBA, baseball, like football, they're all, into players, into like things like that. But I think it's more of that way than teams, in my opinion.
All right, man. I appreciate you. Thanks for getting in.
Thanks, man.
Good to hear from you. I think that's pretty accurate. Why one of the sports TV CEOs at this meeting in New York said they are consuming sports, younger people. They're consuming sports, but they're doing it differently. And he's saying they're going on social platforms. They're getting highlights. They're playing fantasy, DraftKings, the whole thing. They're engaged with individual athletes. He said they immerse themselves in the athletes and what the athletes like. What's their favorite musicians? What do they do? Their fashion trends. I mean, this is serious. Did I ever worry about too many of the like what Dennis Rodman was wearing? Well, okay, I wanted to see what hair dye he had back in the day, but this is real. It's not. 30-year-olds, are they sitting down and watching Sunday Night Football? The average age is 62 and a half this year of primetime NFL games. That's 62 and a half is the new 40. You heard it here first. You heard it here first. My question of the day, though, is these sports TV executives say, we just got to get stuff where these younger people are at. They're not sitting down for 3 hours to watch the Vikings. They're not sitting down for 3 hours. They're doing all that. They're engaging on their phones. That's what they're doing. That's what they say. I want to know if that means they're not as passionate as sports fans. That's my question of the day. Younger people today, you name the age, are they as passionate sports fans as you and I? See that? The old guys? Are they as passionate sports fans? Hit me up on this. We'll take a timeout and get into the second hour. 605-720-1067. Are younger people as passionate sports fans as we were back in the day? We're back with the second hour and happy hour, plus 5 questions from Chris tonight on the way.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Are you ready to rule the realm? With the new Game of Thrones scratch ticket from the South Dakota Lottery, you can. This epic game gives you the chance to win up to $50,000 instantly, or a trip to Napa Valley to play the Seven Kingdoms experience, where you could win your share of up to $7 million in cash prizes. So treat yourself like royalty and go to your local South Dakota Lottery retailer to pick up your Game of Thrones scratch ticket today and let your reign begin. Must be 18 years or older to play. Please play responsibly.
I started doing it once in a while. Just for fun in the car with my friends. And yeah, I knew it was deadly, even illegal, but I didn't care. I remember looking down, and she was crossing the street, and I saw her just before I killed her.
Addiction has many faces. Texting and driving when you know it's life-threatening and illegal can be one of them. Take back control. Put the phone down.
Brought to you by the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety, the South Dakota Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Hi, folks. Kevin McPherson Auction Company. On today's online-only auction, we are selling for the Lushbaugh Estate approximately 300 lots. Several antiques, collectibles, including railroad lanterns, old toys, Sturgis Rally, and Jack Pine Gypsy memorabilia. Signs, we have a Ford Neon and a double-sided Pennzoil sign. Items are located 1110 Industry Road, Sturgis. Final auction preview 3 to 5 this afternoon. For more auction details and to bid and buy, go to McPhersonAuction.com.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports Rapid City.
Did you know that sports events hosted in Rapid City have generated over $30 million in economic spending so far in 2024? Retail, hotels, and restaurants benefit from our community being a regional sports hub. I'm D'Amico from the Rapid City Sports Commission, and we recruit and grow events in Rapid City to increase spending as well as the quality of life for our local families. Please follow the Rapid City Sports Commission on Facebook to get more information about Rapid City sports and events.
If you're in the market for a vehicle right now, you probably have noticed it's sometimes hard to find the right one. That's where Summit Automotive Group steps in. Stacy and Matt and their staff working hard to get a great selection of pre-owned vehicles at affordable prices. At Summit Automotive, they have a different outlook on selling you a vehicle. You'll experience stress-free shopping, friendly, honest service with no high-pressure sales gimmicks. Before you buy, drop by East Highway 44, summitautogrp.com.
Hi, I'm Bill at Wire for USA. If you're looking for internet, TV, security systems, or cell booster systems, why would you look at a company that only gives you one choice for each of these systems? Wire for USA offers it all. Viasat, Hughes, CenturyLink, Dish TV, DirecTV, Wilson cell booster systems, and now Starlink and EchoStar internet systems. Starlink and EchoStar are the newest, the fastest, and the strongest satellite internet made. No limit, no contract. Wire for USA has it. Call 605-341-5361. Whatever your home or business needs are, call Wire for USA for the products and the service. You don't need training wheels with our system. Connect to the future with Wire for USA at 605-341-5361. We are hometown, we are South Dakota, and we do appreciate your business. 605-341-5361. See us at our new location, 710 North La Crosse Street in Rapid City.
This is the Nate Brown Show. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
Hey, thanks for being here tonight. It's always a great day in South Dakota. Into the second hour on the Nate Brown Show, South Dakota Sports Talk Show, Wednesday edition. A special edition of Wednesday Happy Hour coming up. Yes, our guest host this hour, Rob Kegron, on his way in. A lot to discuss. What do you do with those Yankee fans? What do you do with those Yankee fans that rip the ball out of Mookie Betts' glove? Everybody's been joking about that today, I've heard. So, well, I should say everybody. Some people have been joking about that. Which way are we going to go there? We'll get into it. Is Rob Kegron going to tell you that it's coming crashing down for the Minnesota Vikings now that they've lost 2 in a row? Rob Kegron's coming in, our guest host, Wednesday Happy Hour on tap. It is the Nate Brown Show, and you can be a part of the program. 605-720-1067, the line. 605-720-1067. As a matter of fact, let's look at the question of the day if you haven't sounded off on that. So the average age of broadcast primetime NFL viewers this season is 62 and a half years old. Smacked me up alongside the head. It ear-holed me tonight. 62 and a half years old. So what do you say about the younger people? Are they not as passionate sports fans? That's my question of the day. Time to get off the lawn. Are younger people not passionate sports fans, or are they just consuming it on their phones? They're following Kevin Durant on Instagram and all of that stuff. I have some of this going on in my family. Can I give you a picture here? Can I give you a picture? Who do you think sits and watches the Broncos for 3 hours in my house? Who do you think? Me. And sometimes my daughters stick around for a while, and then they'll be popping around doing other stuff. What do you think my wife does? She'll watch a little bit. She likes seeing how angry I get sometimes. And then what do you think she does? She follows all of these teams and athletes on social media. Because she'll know all about stuff that I talk about here on the show. She'll know about this and know about that. I say, what are you talking about? How do you know this? Well, I follow this. I follow that. I follow this. So she's into the sports side, and it's on the social media side, and following the teams, the athletes, the trends, that stuff. That's what TV executives meant about when they talked about, hey, we spend all this money on media rights and paying all this money to carry the NFL and everything. It's great. We have big audiences, but the audience is old. How do we get the younger crowd? Are they still passionate sports fans? That's my question of the day. Let's go to the results. That's a tight vote on the Nate Brown Show. Follow us on Twitter and vote in the question of the day at Nate Brown Show. 53% say younger people are not as passionate. 47% say the younger people still love sports, but they do it on their phones more. Is that the case? Well, it has to be. I mean, I just look at my family. I'm not super old yet. I may sound like it sometimes. I'm not super old yet. And I've got sports fans in my family. But the trend is I'm watching the whole game. They want to go and check out highlights and some of that stuff. Like, I don't watch Red Zone. I'm one of those guys that doesn't watch Red Zone. You can keep selling me on Red Zone. I want to watch the game. What is the momentum of the game? What's happened on this play, on that play? I can't just go to, hey, I get Red Zone from the gambling side, the fantasy side, the whole thing. I get it. I'm still one of those guys that's watching the whole game. I guess I'm not quite 62 and a half, but that number surprised me today. Average age broadcast NFL primetime games, 62 and a half years old. As we get into the Wednesday show, you know what we got, right? Are you ready?
It's time for 5 questions from Chris on the Nate Brown Show.
Our loyal listener, Chris, sends 5 questions every week, and I've got them. 5 questions from Chris. Here we go, Chris. Let's go. Question number 1. Nate, we are less than a month away from starting the 12-team college football playoff. As it sits right now, the highest-ranked group of 5 teams, Boise State. Should there be another team from the group of 5 allowed in? Or do you think Big Ten SEC is going to take the remaining spot? What do you think about, like, Army? I think it's great for group of 5 to get 2 teams in. So hear me on this, Chris. I would like to see group of 5 get 2 teams. They won't. As a matter of fact, I don't know if they ever will. They just did that as a olive branch. It's like, here you go. You could sit at the big kids table now just for Thanksgiving. And then we're going to kick you out. Okay, just for Thanksgiving, you get to sit at the adults table. They just let one group of 5 team in just for kicks, just to act nice for now. They're not going to let Army in. They're not going to let anybody in. If it's Boise State, it's Boise State, but that's it. Okay? So it's going to be Big Ten and SEC taking up those spots. That's what it's going to be. Question number 2. Game 5 tonight, Dodgers-Yankees, Nate. The TV executives at Fox probably want 7-game series, 2 biggest brands in baseball. But do you think the executives are happy overall with the World Series ratings? Well, I think they have to be now that I saw the number from last night, Chris. Game 4, it wasn't a sweep, so we still got more baseball tonight. Game 4, the biggest Game 4 ratings since 2016's Cubs-Indians series. That gets your attention. Some people thought baseball wasn't at that point anymore, even if it's Dodgers-Yankees. Dodgers-Yankees, biggest number, 18 million it peaked at last night. That matched Game 4 Cubs-Indians 26. Well, not match, was the biggest since that. That's big. So the executive, I think they're fine. We'll see. I think Garrett Cole and the Yanks, look out tonight. Look out. Might make it interesting. Go back to L.A. Question number 3. Staying in baseball, Nate. Rob Manfred has been discussing going to 154 regular season games. Before 1961, it was 154. Do you think having more playoff baseball is a good thing? Or would eliminating the final week of the season take away from the division races? I don't need more playoff baseball. We've already expanded the playoffs in baseball, Chris, so I'm okay with that, the extra wild card teams. That keeps the interest alive for more cities and more fan bases. So I'm okay with expanding the playoffs. You don't need to cut off another week and expand it more. I mean, the season at 162 or 154, I could care less. It's really long. 162, super long. 154, really long. Doesn't matter. Just keep it as it is. Question number 4. We are halfway through the NFL season. Do you think the league is worried about a couple of divisions with teams below 500? The AFC East only has the Bills with a winning record. The NFC West has no team above 500. Everyone is 4-4, and the Rams are 3-4. Well, I don't think they're worried about it. I wouldn't say worried about it, but this is the discussion everybody has. If you're in a bad division, should that count when you win the division like the NFC West and you win it at like 9-8 or, God forbid, 8-9? That's happened. I mean, we've seen pretty bad teams win bad divisions, and then people complain. Oh, like the NFC North. Look at the Lions, Vikings, Packers, even Bears. So you're telling me we should let in a division winner at 8-9 over like maybe the Vikings or somebody like that? That's when it gets interesting. I don't think the league's worried about it, but you'll have debate on that if these divisions keep struggling. If you have a bad division winner below 500, they don't like it. Question number 5. 5 questions from Chris. Fox has been showing a Big 10 or Big 12 college football game Friday nights this season, Nate. Some schools love being showcased as standalone primetime. Some schools have requested not to be. Are the schools requesting not to host a Friday night college game being short-sighted? Or should Friday nights be for high school football? I love high school football. That being said, if I'm a college program and I get on Fox Friday night primetime, I'm taking that every day. I'm taking it every day for my brand, for my university. 3.5 hours primetime. There's not much competition. I love high school football Friday nights. But I'm telling you, if I'm a college administrator, AD coach, I would never request coming off of Friday nights. The Nebraska AD, they're like, oh, we don't want to do another Friday night game. They did a Friday night game a few weeks ago. We don't want to do that. In Nebraska high schools, had to take, games off and stuff like that. Well, I get it. Nebraska's a special place. You got high school. You got the whole state gets behind the Huskers. I would still take Friday night if I'm a college program. 5 questions from Chris in the books on a Wednesday. Hey, let's start up happy hour. Rob Kegron's our guest host. We moved it up. He's got a trick or treat tomorrow. Did he bring me any candy today? Rob Kegron, what does he think about those Yankee fans? He's from New York City, What does he think about those Yankee fans ripping the ball away from Mookie Betts last night? We'll start there. Happy hour with Rob Kegron on the way.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Save big money on your next project right now at Menards, your plumbing headquarters. Menards carries everything you need for your bathroom remodel. The American Standard Encompass tall, elongated toilet features smooth sides for easy cleaning and ever-clean glaze to prevent bacteria, mold, and mildew on the surface. Save big on American Standard toilets, and don't forget to check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
You just got a quote from a company and are now being billed for not choosing them. Many contracts have what's referred to as a contingency agreement. These typically state that if you don't go with them, you, after insurance has approved the repair work, will be charged a percentage of the job they quoted. Ask up front if they charge to provide an estimate. Never sign anything that you haven't fully read or understand. If you have any questions, reach out to the South Dakota Office of Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division at 800-300-1986.
Your home for the South Dakota High School football playoffs is here on Fox Sports Rapid City. Thursday night, starting at 5:45. The first round of the Class 11A football playoffs as Rapid City Christian takes on Sioux Falls Christian. Presented by Black Hills Culligan. Join our broadcast team, Jerome Wickersham, Dean Gurr, and Matt Kearney, as Rapid City Christian takes on Sioux Falls Christian. Thursday night at 5:45. Playoff football presented by Black Hills Culligan. Right here on Fox Sports Rapid City.
Winter is just around the corner, and Black Hills Harley-Davidson is here to help cure your winter blues. Whether it's a new or pre-owned Harley-Davidson or a performance upgrade, Black Hills Harley-Davidson has lots of reasons to do it now. Join us, Legend Suspension, and Drag Specialties this Saturday for our Winter Performance Launch event. We'll have a live service demo, 20% off parts and labor of select performance upgrades, the Good Stuff food truck, happy hour, and more. Check out our Facebook page for winter storage specials as well. All at Black Hills Harley-Davidson, just off I-90 at exit 55 in Rapid City.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Slight chance for isolated rain showers tonight, otherwise cloudy skies expected. Lows dip down to about 29, southerly winds around 5 miles per hour. 52 tomorrow. Partly cloudy tomorrow night, lows dip down to about 32. Mainly clear Friday with a high of 56. 59 Saturday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently 37.
We're all going somewhere. Going higher, faster, farther. Going in new directions, to new places. At Monument Health, we keep going so you can keep going. We're dedicated to advanced orthopedic care with the latest innovations, technology, expertise, and treatment. So keep exploring, keep making memories, keep going with Monument Health as your partner. Learn more at monument.health/orthopedics.
Collins Siding has been the region's premier window siding, door, and gutter installation specialist since 1974. They use only the highest quality materials and never compromise on their workmanship. Collins Siding is licensed, bonded, and their estimates always include labor, materials, and applicable permits and taxes. Collins Siding has been providing top quality service and exceeding high standards for over 45 years, and you can find out how by visiting them at 2016 Cherry Avenue. Collins Siding, 2016 Cherry Avenue, Rapid City.
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
Wednesday edition of the Nate Brown Show. It is South Dakota Sports Talk Show on Fox Sports Radio. Happy hour on a Wednesday. Got Halloween tomorrow. So Rob Kegron, he's going to go scare kids tomorrow. No, I'm kidding. He's going to be,
without a costume.
You got to do some work tomorrow. Rob Kegron's our guest. You know that on Happy Hour. In the second hour, it's brought to you by the Skybox, Rapid City's best sports bar, right above the firehouse. I'll tell you come to the firehouse from all across South Dakota. See those fire trucks, right? All across the interstate. Get to the firehouse and the Skybox right above the firehouse, Rapid City's best sports bar. Okay, I want to tell everybody, if they haven't heard you yet, that you're a New York City guy, but you're a South Dakota guy now. You got that South Dakota in you, and you're looking at this Yankees series in the World Series. You're not a Yankees fan. It's a long story. You're a Giants fan from back in the day, but you know Yankees. You know Yankees fans. So let's go to the Yankee fan incident last night, where first inning, Mookie Betts catches a foul ball. The fans had him into the stands. They were ripping the ball out, grabbed his glove, wouldn't let it go for a while, got the ball out. Those fans were ejected, and now they're banned from tonight. What do you say about banning the fans from the game tonight, and how long should these fans be banned?
Well, first and foremost, Nate, I was watching the game live. I assume you were probably watching the game live, if not maybe a little bit after, because based on when you get off the air.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I first watched it, to the naked eye, it didn't look like there was much to it, to be quite honest, right? From the angle that they were showing
the angle was bad. I agree with that.
I had no idea that anything had happened. And then when they started showing the replays, it was as aggressive as anything I can remember in terms of fan interference in a baseball game like that. Now, I don't want to get into the minutia of this, but there's one guy who's clearly at fault, and then there's one guy who's less at fault, let's say. Would you agree with that?
Out of the two goofballs?
Yeah, absolutely. There was one guy who was holding Mookie Betts' glove and trying to rip the ball out of his glove at the same exact time.
But his buddy was holding Betts' arm. He was holding his arm.
Yeah, and I get that. I felt like there was one guy who was so much worse. The guy who was in the road Yankees jersey, I thought he was so much worse than the other guy. But fair enough. Absolutely, they should be banned tonight. And I think this is probably a season-long ban. I think the whole next season, they should be banned from any Yankee game whatsoever at Yankee Stadium.
Okay, so you thought about this. You go a season for the fans who did this. I heard people joking about this today on Fox Sports Radio. I've heard some national media say, no, this was egregious. I fall on the side of you can't have this. I just, you can't have it. People say, oh, these guys were, they went to a bar and they were heroes there in New York. Everybody talks about it.
They were.
Oh, it's funny. It's funny. Is it funny?
A little bit.
You're from New York City. People, they think this is funny?
Yeah, absolutely. And in fairness, New York has a bit of a history with these kind of events, so it's not like this is the first. This is not an isolated incident. There have been plenty. I can think back, and I'm sure you remember this, Nate. You're a great sports fan. This is probably 1996 Yankees-Orioles. There was a kid. His name was Jeffrey Mayer, and he was reaching over the right field stands in the old Yankee Stadium, caught the ball over. I can't remember who the Baltimore Oriole outfielder was, but I think it was Derek Jeter who hit the home run. It really wasn't a home run. I mean,
he reached a long way over there and got it.
And they actually called it a home run at the time. This is before they had any kind of replay. I remember the umpire was Richie Garcia, and he called it a home run, and he was so sure that it was a home run. And as soon as you saw the replay, you realized the kid was like 6 feet over the fence. Like there was no chance that ball was going to go over the right field stands. And so there is a bit of a history with this. I do think it is a bit funny. I think when, and this is going to sound crazy, but the fielder is going into the stands to make the play. Now, I don't think we should condone this behavior by any means, but I think you have to fight. When you're on the road, that's one of the little things that you have to fight against. Those people are going to try to stop you.
Oh, really?
Now, should they reach into the field of play? No, but they were not in the field of play.
Well,
Let's be fair.
It's just like this. I mean, come on. It's like this. I got courtside seats in the NBA. LeBron falls out. He saves the ball. He falls out. It's the NBA Finals, and I hang on to his jersey. I hang on to him. I don't let him finish off the play. I mean, that's unbelievable. You can't. You're banned. You're gone. I got to have you gone. You can't impact a game. These guys were absolute maniacs.
Okay, I think you holding, which I would love to see. I must say, I think all the audience can now imagine in their head Nate Brown sitting on the courtside, probably at the Nuggets game, right?
Hang on. It's like Ralphie. CU's Buffalo. It's a hang on.
That would, I mean, you're literally impacting in the middle of the play. This is a ball, and this is where baseball gets a little goofy, but this is a ball that's theoretically out of play that the outfielder is trying to make a play on.
Boy, you're making excuses for these guys.
I think
excuses,
it's part
but
of
you banned them for a year.
I'd ban them for a year. I'd ban them for a year to teach them a lesson. But I don't think it's the same as reaching over onto the field of play and trying to make a play on a ball.
I think
which happened in the Dodger game, in fairness.
Oh, really?
In Game 1 of the World, it happened in Game 1 of the World Series. And one of the Dodger fans reached over, trying to catch a ball.
I'm not trying to make Mookie Betts miss it. He reached in, I grabbed his glove, I hung onto his arm, I ripped the ball out. You got it.
It's a bit much. I agree. It's a bit much.
It's contact with a player. Are we going to allow guys to get on the field? I mean, what happens to those guys when they get on the field? We arrest those guys.
All right, well, so let's go down this path. Let's say, and again, in Yankee Stadium, this doesn't work because Mookie can't jump into the stands at that point. But I'll give you a better example. And so any fan here who's ever watched a game on television that's happened at Fenway Park, right? Take that same right field stands, right? It is so low. It's low to the point where you and I, not the tallest individuals in the history of the world, could step over that fence very easily. So the player jumps into the stands. Can those fans stop him from catching the ball when he jumps into the stands?
I don't like that.
I think they should be able to. You want to try to make a play into the stands? I think there is some, and I'm not looking for an obstacle course, let's be fair. I'm not looking for, but if you're going to jump into the stands, why do you have the right to that ball over the fan who's sitting in their seat? Now, what I'm trying to make the point is there has to be a limit. How far can the player go into the stands to make a play as opposed to the fan going into the field of play?
Now remember,
to interfere.
Mookie was his glove was barely into the stands. I mean, his glove last night was barely into the stands.
But into the stands.
And then these guys took it over the top. They took it another step. That was the deal. Like, you're there, if you're like trying to maybe catch it, that's one thing. we're getting more mad at Steve Bartman. I mean, we absolutely destroyed Steve Bartman. He did it on accident. These guys did it on purpose.
Bartman hurt his own team. These guys are trying to help their team.
I know, and we absolutely destroyed Bartman. He's a great Cubs fan, and we destroyed his life. He didn't even mean to. We were throwing stuff at him, and then we destroyed his life. And these guys...
He didn't mean to?
No, he didn't mean to.
What did he mean to do?
He didn't realize Moises Alou was coming over to catch the ball, so it was a foul ball.
He's a great baseball fan, but didn't realize that his player wanted to catch the ball?
No, it was an accident. You know that. And so these guys did it on purpose. They did it on purpose. And I was mad at Steve Bartman back in the day. But now we're going to let these goofballs. I think here's what happens in life. We move the goalposts. We just let guys get away with stuff. We let everybody get away with stuff, and we're going to let these guys off. I would actually ban them. You've stepped over the line. You make the Yankees organization look terrible. You make the Yankees fans look like a bunch of goofballs. I would ban them for longer than a season.
You make them look like goofballs to whom? The rest of fandom.
The rest of the country.
Okay.
You looked like a goofball last night.
But the city of 8 million, the city that never sleeps, put them on the front cover of the papers.
Oh, that's the problem.
Just so we know.
That's the problem with today. Now
They're
stars.
Stars. They're stars.
They're stars.
They're literally stars.
That is ridiculous. It really is. So you ban them for a season. That's okay. Let's see here. Listener text 605-720-1067. I agree with Rob. Ban them for purchasing first to fifth row seating. Ban them from purchasing first to fifth row seating.
That's interesting. I could see some kind of limit on you can't sit close to the stands now, close to the field of play, I guess I should say, close to the edge of the stands. Yeah, I guess I could see that.
Okay, I would definitely ban them for at least a year. Thinking about a lifetime for those guys. You took it way too far.
Folks, if Nate Brown ever runs for judge of anything, let's not vote for him, okay? Because you got no chance.
Judge, jury, and executioner.
Judge Nate Brown.
That's it. By the way, do the Yankees have a shot here now? Garrett Cole going tonight, the ace, and then the Dodgers, they took a risk last night throwing the bullpen game. They thought they were going to get away with it. Garrett Cole tonight, Game 5. Now, if they win, look out.
I think the Yankees win tonight, for sure.
Oh,
to say that they have a chance in the
3-2.
series. But it is 3-2. If they win tonight, obviously 3-2. And I would be surprised if Cole did not come out with his best stuff tonight. And I don't think that you're going to get the same kind of performance from Jack Flaherty as you did in Game 1. The problem becomes you go back to L.A. on Game 6 on Friday, you have a rested bullpen, and you have Yamamoto, who's ready to go on regular rest, against Carlos Rodon, who was terrible in Game 2. I think he gave up 4 home runs.
Yeah, but he's going to be motivated. He'll be motivated.
I don't think he can control his emotions, though. He's shown over and over again that he can't seem to harness that energy. Don't get me wrong. If they ever won tonight, the Yankees, and they ever found a way to win in Game 6, I'd favor them heavily in Game 7 because the Dodgers would be so scared to be that team that loses down 3-0 that I think it'd be very tough for them to win Game 7.
I think the Dodgers might get scared tonight. Garrett Cole got hosed in Game 1. He pitched well.
He did.
And I think he can win. I'm with you on that. I think the Yankees win tonight, and then I think you start tightening it up 3-2. I think you start tightening up going back Friday. Rob Kegron in studio on the Nate Brown Show. It is Wednesday happy hour. So the Vikings have lost 2 in a row. They lose left tackle Christian Darrisaw. How many games does Rob Kegron have the Vikings winning now? Is it all coming crashing down? We'll discuss next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The #1 hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
October is Renewal by Anderson's United Against Cancer campaign, and when Renewal offered to pay for employees' radon testing and mitigation, several Renewal team members found radon in their homes. Deb was one of them, and she always wondered how she got breast cancer. Radon causes cancer. It's linked to Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. Radon is a killer.
People don't know about radon. They don't know what a killer it is, and they don't know how cheap it is to have it tested.
From all of us at Renewal by Anderson, please get a radon test now. It could save your life.
At Denny Manholt Rushmore Honda, get 5.49% APR financing for 63 months on used cars, trucks, and sport utilities. 5.49 for 63 months. Come in for a test drive and register to win a Honda Moto Compacto. Plus, shop the area's best selection of pre-owned Hondas and Honda certified pre-owned at Denny Manholt Rushmore Honda or RushmoreHonda.com. 1831 for 1,000 finance with qualified credit. Expires 10/31/24. No purchase necessary to register to win.
The doctors and staff at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center have provided expert bone, joint, and muscle care to patients in the Black Hills area since 1976. Whether you're an elite athlete, a weekend warrior, or just want to continue your active lifestyle, the orthopedic experts at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center will help you stay in the game. Don't let an injury keep you from doing the things you love. Trust the team at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center, specializing in what moves you. Learn more at bhosc.com.
Hi, it's Nate Brown for Black Hills Community Bank. If you run your own company or you're looking to start a small business here in the Black Hills, you want to make sure you choose the right banking partner. And I know the right choice for business is Black Hills Community Bank. They have plenty of banking options to suit your specific needs. And Black Hills Community Bank is here to help business owners thrive and to make sure you have the support and tools to help your business grow. Just contact one of their business loan experts today or visit bhcbank.com. Member FDIC.
So, I just got the State Farm Personal Price Plan on my car insurance.
So you told your agent you play the bagpipes for your dog?
What? No, I didn't get that personal. My agent just helped me create an affordable price just for me. Okay, let me show you what I've been working on. Hey, Buster!
Contact me, State Farm agent Scott Carlson, to create your personal price plan today.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
This is The Nate Brown Show, also streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe to The Nate Brown Show on YouTube.
Hey, welcome back in South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Glad you're on board. Text line always open, 605-720-1067. Listener text, 605-720-1067. I believe the fans should be banned tonight. Just tonight?
Well, they are banned tonight.
They're banned tonight. Should they be able to come back next season? Should they? Maybe we should have an opening ceremony for them. Maybe they should throw out the first pitch. Rob would have them throw out the first pitch next year.
I don't know if I would glorify them that much, but
they're already getting glorified in New York.
They are. They are absolutely celebrities today.
It's a step over the line. I think there's right and wrong. These guys were wrong. They were wrong. All right.
And so you pay the punishment, but is that a ban for life? That's a 1-year ban. Learn your lesson. Don't do it again.
1-year ban. Okay, I would go with that, but I think we always move it. We always let people get away with just a little bit more. I don't think you... What if, again, NBA game into the stands, some fan grabs LeBron James, won't let him continue down the court? I think that'd be a big thing in the NBA Finals. That'd be a big thing.
It'd be huge.
You can't make contact with players. That's when things get ugly. You remember the Malice in the Palace? You remember that? You can't make contact and do stuff with players.
But that was a fan throwing something at a player, right, outside of the game of play, particularly.
Well, these were fans grabbing his arm and ripping his glove.
Inside the game of play when that player's trying to go into the stands. I don't think the player has any right to go into the stands to catch the ball.
Oh, okay.
I don't.
That's good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, let's jump to this. Vikings are 5-2. Sunday night football against Joe Flacco and the Colts. So the Vikings will be 6-2. Well, we're acting like it's...
Whoa.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Let's be realistic. They'll be 6-2, no problem. And we're acting like we got an emergency here. I mean, you're acting like there's an emergency. Vikings, I see some people say, I don't know if they should get aggressive at the trade deadline and stuff. Well, you don't have to, be really aggressive, but the Vikings are a playoff team, no doubt. They're going to be 6-2, and we're going to forget about these two losses here to the Rams and Lions. So you think Sunday night's going to be a good game? The Hat Rack Joe Flacco's going to really light up the Vikings Sunday?
Okay, well, first of all, let's start with this. The Colts with Richardson, who was horrendous, hideous on Sunday, had a great game with the Texans, right? They were not that far off from winning that game. Richardson was terrible in the game.
The Vikings weren't very far off either, winning at the Rams, who had everybody back.
But they didn't, and they lost again. And I've been pumping the brakes on the Nate Brown show on the Minnesota Vikings.
Have. Not pumping the brakes. You're like wrecking the car.
Yeah, well, they're starting to wreck the car, okay? After 2 consecutive losses, and the team doesn't look the way it did those first few games.
I think I think they look fine. They look fine. Darisaw's a big loss, I'll tell you that. He's a great offensive lineman, so that's a big loss. But they barely lost to the Lions. They missed a bad face mask on the last drive. Otherwise, they might have tied the Rams.
Are they the best team in the NFC North in their own division?
Not right now. Not right now.
No, they're not even close.
But they'll be a wild card.
And I told you that last week. If you listen back, and Matt Kearney...
You said Lions are the best.
They are the best, and it's not even close, right?
It's close. It's close, yes.
The Lions and the Vikings are close.
Between you and I. We're close. It was a really close game that the Vikings should have won a couple of weeks ago.
Do you know how it's not close, Nate? They're not the second best team in the division. The Green Bay Packers.
Oh, come on. The Vikings have already beat Green Bay at Green Bay. That's it. You like winning? Win.
Okay. The Green Bay Packers are the second best team in that division, and the Vikings are a close third. Right? Close third. They are close.
Where does it? How many games do you have them winning now?
9.
You have them winning 9.
They're going to go 4-6 the rest of the way. They're 5-2 right now, I think.
5-2. They'll be 6-2 Sunday night.
I don't think they will. I think Flacco is going to go in there and win that game. I think the Colts are a decent team, and they're going to get a shot in the arm from a quarterback that is what those other players on the field realize that they have a way better chance of winning with Joe Flacco than with Anthony Richardson.
They do, but Joe's a hat rack. I've seen him. I'm a Broncos fan. We had him back there. It's like putting a hat rack back there. He can't move, so we're going to be pressuring him a lot. We're going to be on him a lot.
Like 3 weeks ago, Joe Flacco had like a 36-yard run, so he's not as much of a hat rack as you make him out to be, number one.
Oh, he is.
And number 2, this is a guy who led Cleveland to the playoffs after Deshaun Watson's injury last year. Joe Flacco is a Super Bowl MVP. He doesn't have a lot left in the tank, but he has enough left in the tank. And I think the Colts go into Minnesota and win this week.
Don't be crazy. You're just trying to...
Take him on the money line.
You're really just trying to go crazy here. Trying to get me fired up.
I called it the last 2 weeks in a row that the Vikings were going to fall off this cliff, and they're starting to fall off the cliff.
So 9 wins. So you're real with 9 wins. I laid this out. I sent this topic to you. I said, Rob, be ready. How many games do the Vikings win? You say 9.
And I wouldn't be shocked if they win 10 because the schedule is not that difficult. So I'll give you that. I just didn't believe, and I did not believe and you know this from the offseason, I did not believe that the Vikings were a big-time team this year. I think Darnold has been way better than I could have ever given him credit for or could have ever imagined him playing to this potential. But he's starting to come back. The team is starting to come back. And if you put any more injuries in there whatsoever, I think this is a 9, at best, 10-win team.
I hope you're very smart with your sports betting that you like doing on Sunday night. So I'd be careful with that. Colts at Minnesota. That's an easy. That's a W for the Vikes. They get right Sunday night, and then they're 6-2. And I think everybody then forgets about all this panic of, we've lost 2 in a row. Oh, Sam Darnold. The Vikings will be 6-2. By the way, I want to touch on this. You maybe didn't hear this, Rob, but the audience, I threw this out first hour. This just came out. The average age of NFL viewers this season for primetime games, so like Sunday Night Football for the Vikings Colts, 62 and a half years old.
What?
That's the average age for broadcast primetime NFL games. 62 and a half. This is from Front Office Sports today. I find you mystified. You don't believe that.
This is radio, and so I'm trying to talk because I know I need to talk to express
you don't believe
my...
that?
No, I don't believe that at all. How could it be 62 and a half years old?
Yes.
For primetime Sunday Night Football?
Yes.
The most watched program in television every single week?
Yes. Average age for broadcast primetime NFL viewers.
Well, I mean, are they only talking about people who still use like an old antenna? Like, I don't know what's going on here. Like,
that can't be. So you say, what is it? What is it? I mean, that's what the...
I mean, if you wanted to say 50, I could probably go along with that, but 62 and a half, that means that there are more 85-year-olds watching Sunday Night Football than 35-year-olds.
They're saying it's 62 and a half, and it's right here. They say Thursday Night Football tomorrow, the streaming game, 47 years old. 47 years old,
okay.
Average age.
Skewing younger, so I can understand that as a streaming thing. But
wouldn't you say the average age for NFL viewership is 47 overall?
I would have said
that fair?
44, to be honest. But sure, 47 I'd go along with, absolutely. 62 and a half. How many 85-year-olds are watching Sunday Night Football every week?
What do you mean? Probably a lot. Probably a lot.
There's sleep half the time. I don't know if you know the East Coast, it starts at 8:20 in the evening. Game doesn't end till 11:20, 11:45. These 85-year-olds had their milk and cookies in their pajamas ready to go to bed already. And I'm not trying to be mean at all, but...
You better take this up with Front Office Sports. Michael McCarthy, he's been on this show before. Should I get him on again?
I would love to hear that one. I'll call in for that one, too. We'll have a little conversation.
So
62 and a half?
That's what it is.
MLB skews younger than the NFL primetime. The Major League Baseball World Series, I guarantee you, the average age is under 62 and a half.
What does this tell you? What does this tell you? Let's say you're not buying it at 62. Let's say it's 55.
Okay.
What does this tell you about young sports fans? So 20 to 40-year-old sports fans. Are 20 to 40-year-old sports fans watching broadcast primetime NFL games, or are they picking up their phones and watching highlights just like you tomorrow? You're going to be trick-or-treating, and you're going to be checking out your boy Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. You're not going to be watching it on broadcast. You're not going to be watching the stream. You're going to be checking out highlights, I assume.
Oh, no, I'll be watching it on the phone for sure. I'll be literally walking the streets of Rapid City. If you see some goofball walking the streets of Rapid City with his phone in front of his face as his daughter runs ahead of him looking for candy, that'll be me for sure. But I get your point. I do think that younger generation, the generation that's one or even two behind you and I, are way more interested in, watching highlights. But I think even part of it is they're not sticking to one thing, right? So they put the game on for 5, 6, 7 minutes. Their attention span is so short.
Correct.
Then they're on their Instagram. Then they're on their TikTok. Then they're, I'm going to flip to this NBA game. Oh, now I'll come back to the football. Oh, I see on Twitter's telling me that the football game is close again. Let me go back to the football game for 10 minutes.
I just went to Las Vegas a couple of weeks ago. I love watching games in the sports book. I sit there. I don't even see the light of day. I mean, I'm a vampire. I don't see the sun down there. And I stay in the sports book and watch all day. You think very many guys do that? I'm looking around. There's some. They're in for about a half, and then I see them go here, go there. Now, I know you're in a casino, the whole thing, but they're not sitting there watching it.
There used to be a time where you and I grew up, and I know we do this a lot. I don't mean to be the old man on the lawn or even be nostalgic about it, but there used to be a time where, and there still is for you, and I'm pretty sure it's the same for you. I know you well enough, where we plan our weekend around, what are we watching this weekend?
Doubt.
Right?
I do that right now. What are you talking about?
You know, you get like we get to January. It's not that far away. We get to the playoffs. I'm literally scheduling out my whole month. What am I doing, and how am I making sure that I'm home or somewhere in front of an actual television to watch the games?
This game, that game.
I want to watch them all those playoff games. And the generation behind us and two behind us are like, I'll catch 20 minutes here, 15 minutes there, the highlights here.
I think so. I'm following my fantasy guys that I picked on DraftKings.
And that's my point. I think they're making a good point, this front office sports, but 62.5 seems a little high. You want to say 53, 54? I can understand that. 62.5, I mean, how much of the population is geriatric that's watching the games? Let's be honest.
Hey, 62.5 is the new 40, so be careful. Just be
You and
careful.
I are both far away from that number.
Okay, I want to get into this. Speaking of Thursday night football, Aaron Rodgers, he's back at it. Rob Kegron's take on Aaron at 2-6. What does he have to say for tomorrow? Next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
How do you make everyone's favorite buffet even better? How do you make the country's best chicken even more exciting? How do you make Thursday the best night ever? Wing night at Pizza Ranch. Boneless and traditional. A variety of sauces. All the wings you want, plus all your other buffet favorites. The country's best wing night is here, taking flight Thursday nights on the buffet. Only at Pizza Ranch. Pizza Ranch, everyone's favorite buffet.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
At Ace, your backyard is right in our backyard. So when you need to feed your grass, remove the weeds, or wrangle those leaves, go to the best place that delivers on top brands like Ego, Toro, and Steel. No warehouse store can match the convenience of your locally owned neighborhood Ace. So stop on by. You can also order online for curbside pickup or get what you need delivered. Around the block, what you need in stock with people who know their lawn care. At participating stores.
South Dakota State basketball is coming to Rapid City. On Thursday, November 14th, head coach Eric Henderson and the defending Summit League champions will be at the Monument for a clash with the Bears of Northern Colorado. And you can feel the excitement of Division I basketball in person. Tickets are available at the Blue Peak ticket office or online at themonument.live. Don't miss your chance to check out South Dakota State men's basketball as the Jacks face Northern Colorado Thursday, November 14th at the Monument.
We all know life's busy, and if you get sick, you can get behind pretty quick. That's where Black Hills Urgent Care comes in. No appointments needed, no long waits, just fast, affordable care to get you feeling better quicker. Black Hills Urgent Care has 2 locations in Rapid City on Haynes Avenue and Mountain View Road. You can simply check in online at bhucare.com. That's with the letter U, bhucare.com. When you need care, see the team at Black Hills Urgent Care, the faster way to get better.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Slight chance for isolated rain showers tonight, otherwise cloudy skies expected. Lows dip down to about 29, southerly winds around 5 miles per hour. 52 tomorrow. Partly cloudy tomorrow night, lows dip down to about 32. Mainly clear Friday with a high of 56. 59 Saturday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently 37.
I'm with Brian from Anytime Auto Sales. Tell me what you got going on with all your fantastic little campers.
Well, if you've even been thinking about a camper, now's the time to buy, as you'll save up to $5,000 depending on the camper model. We're proud to feature Bushwhackers from Braxton Creek and the all-aluminum and fiberglass Rove lights from Travel Light.
That's right. With all the fiberglass and aluminum construction, there's no rusting, molding, or rotting on these travel lights.
Correct. And right now, you'll get the best prices of the year. Save thousands on every ultralight teardrop and stand-up teardrop camper.
You just got to see these people. So many options for towing. No need for a diesel or big truck. Most SUVs have no problem towing these.
That's exactly right. With over a dozen floor plans, there's one just perfect for you.
Come get yours today, everybody, and save thousands on all campers.
Get here now, and you can save up to $5,000 depending on the model on campers still in our inventory.
Come check them out. See anytime.com, and as always at the corner of Highway 79 and East Minnesota.
Anytime Auto Sales.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown.
Welcome back. The Nate Brown Show live, South Dakota Sports Talk Show, Wednesday happy hour. Rob Kegron's our guest host every week here on The Nate Brown Show. Glad to have you on board, Fox Sports Radio. If you missed parts of the show, a reminder, the Nate Brown Show podcast available. So if you missed Craig Maddock earlier from SDPB, Sioux Falls, Frank Schwab tonight, NFL writer, Yahoo Sports, and more on the happy hour, go to the Nate Brown Show podcast. Every show right there on Apple, Spotify, Amazon. Download it. You've got every show. We don't repeat segments and play them back. So catch the show and what you want right there on the Nate Brown Show podcast. Thursday night football tomorrow. We had Vikings-Rams last week, so I was in on that. And, boy, we missed a big face mask, but we'll let that one go. And now tomorrow we're going to look at Aaron Rodgers against Houston Texans. And you explain to me how the Jets continue to be favored. They're favored by 2 tomorrow. Are we just thinking that the public just thinks the Jets are going to keep on winning?
Well, I think there's if we're talking about from a gambling perspective, Nate, there's a couple of things. One, the Jets are too talented to not eventually win. So I think there's a bit of that bias, right? There's a bias. They have to win eventually.
They're just good.
No, but talent-wise, they're good.
Okay.
Houston plays a tight game almost every single week. They've played a lot of tight games. The game they lost against Green Bay, this past game against Indy. I mean, we can list them all. They've played many, many tight games. They just lost Stephon Diggs for the season.
Yeah.
Nico Collins is still hurt. I think, they have not played that great on the road, Houston. So if you combine all those things together...
Oh, boy.
I mean, it's not like the Jets are a home 5-point favorite. They're a 2-point favorite at home. So I think that's why you're there.
It's because we overvalue Aaron Rodgers. I mean, it's the biggest overvalued QB right now going. And Aaron Rodgers is 2-6. If they lose tomorrow night... The Jets, this was like I was Nostradamus. I said the Jets were going to be bad. We're going to go back to the archives. I might have to get that audio here by midseason and say, boom, let's play it. They're going to be 2-7. What's Aaron Rodgers going to do? Honestly, where's he going to be next season?
Oh, that's a great question, Nate. And I kind of knew you were going to ask me that question. I've been thinking about it all afternoon. My gut tells me he comes back for one more year. He doesn't want to go out this way, knowing that he was hurt after 4 plays last year in his first season with the Jets. It's been a complete train wreck this year. I would think he comes back for one more shot at it to at least try to get him to a playoff game.
With that clown car?
You're going to bring a new coach in, right? So I think he'd probably be involved in that, and that might motivate him to stay for one more year. I think he comes back. My gut tells me he comes back for one more year, no matter how much of a train wreck this season continues to be.
Because he can't take going out like if he's 2-7, whatever. They're out of the playoffs now. By the way, they're done. They're gone. So it's over.
If they're 2-7, they're out of the playoffs. If they're 3-6, are they absolutely out of the playoffs?
Well, they're out. I mean, you got to win a lot of games.
I mean, your Broncos. How many games are your Broncos going to win? 9.
Maybe.
8?
Maybe.
All right, how many games are the Chargers? I mean, these are the teams that are going to fight for that last spot, right? The Chargers, the Colts, right? We know.
Ravens, Bengals.
Well, you got the forget the Bengals. The Bengals are any better than the Jets? The Bengals just lost. The Bengals are 0-4 at home, Nate. When are we going to give up on the Bengals? You want to give up on the Jets? And fair enough. And I'm absolutely eating it here. I've talked up the Jets for the last 4 months on this program.
And you're still talking about you're talking yourself into taking the Jets tomorrow. I can hear it. I can hear it.
Already did. -2.
You're just I don't know what it is.
Can't lose them all.
It's the emotional side of this. You got to keep it straight.
That's why I'm a bad gambler. You have to release the emotions when you're gambling. You cannot bet on who you want to win. You have to bet on who you think is going to win.
I believe the Texans are going to win tomorrow. It's just been one of those years for the Jets. We'll see.
It has been.
And then next week, Rob will be back, and he'll finally have something to hang his hat on for Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, and he's going to keep the playoffs hope alive. They're going to be 3-6, but I think they're going to be 2-7. You think he comes back no matter what?
Yeah, I think he comes back.
With the Jets.
Oh, he's never going anywhere else. There's definitely not. That's not. He's not going to start over again.
No,
I don't think they would. And I think he'll motivate himself to play one more year. I mean, unless he gets hurt between now and the end of the year, I think if he's healthy, I think he will come back for one more year, try to give those Jets a playoff berth that they absolutely expected this year.
Rob's going to be eating his kids' candy tomorrow night. He's going to be stress eating his kids' candy as that game goes on tomorrow night, and he's going to watch how much money goes out the door. Rob Kagrod in tonight. Good to have him. Wednesday happy hour in the books, brought to you by the Skybox, Rapid City's best sports bar, right above the Firehouse. The Nate Brown Show podcast going up right now. We're back tomorrow on a Thursday on a special high school football show as well. See ya.
It's the geometry teacher who mans the ticket